Good evening, my name is Sebastian Estrada, and today I'm here with my partner,
Herrera.
and this is our discovery project. Today we'll be interviewing our expert, Eduardo Castillo, and he's a pilot.
Hey.
Hello, Eduardo.
How are you?
And he'll be answering some questions about the morality, responsibility, and also the experience that he has had among the time he flew. So let's get started.
Right, I read that to be a pilot you need to spend a lot of time and you need to get a lot of experience. So, how much time do you spend to be a professional pilot?
Okay, first, the career is divided in two parts. Okay, so you have the theoretical part where you can take classes like navigation, meteorology, or engines, and more classes, but this three was the most difficult for me. And for the practice, you have more time, but for this reason, maybe you can spend on theoretical part like 3 months, and in the practice depends the time you have, because you can fly full time, it's like fly all the week, or a part time you can fly only on weekends or 2 times a week. So for this reason the time depends, and maybe one person can do it in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, depending on the person and the time that have.
So you basically spend 9 months to be a pilot, right?
Yeah.
So this is actually a pretty short time to become a pilot. So what kind of what specialty you had or you made?
Okay, I am commercial pilot, but it's not depends of the time, like is like a specialty. It's like the time that you waste flying, you can do, or you can fly maybe 3 hours or 4 hours in a day. And to be a commercial pilot, you have to do 250 hours. So the time it's relative, because you can do it in less time. In my case, I spent on the theoretical part 3 months, and in the practice only 6 months. But it was because I fly all the time, all the week, and if I can, I fly on weekends. So for this reason, I spend less time than another pilots.
Yeah. Right. So you said that you spent around 9 months to learn and be a professional, but in this 9 months, what is the most difficult thing that you have to do?
Okay, one of the best parts in the pilot life is the vuelo solo, and it's a part in your practice where your instructor give you the trust to take the plane and fly 1 hour alone. But for this part, you have to development a lot of skills, because it's not the same that drive a car. You are flying a plane, and you have more things to do. You have to control a lot of things, the engine, the oil in the engine, the temperature, and more things like this. And you have to are checking your panel in the control room, and you have to see in the control room, you have to see what in your around you. Okay, so for this reason, I think that the most difficult part is the vuelo solo.
Okay, so now you mentioned about the vuelo solo. My question is about your first trip. What you felt the first trip? How were you nervous? Were you scared? I mean, what were the feelings you had in that moment?
This moment you feel a lot of things when your instructor tell you that you are going to fly alone. You have scare you are nervous, you are exciting, you are very happy because this is a part that you are waiting. So in my case, I was very excited for this, but when I have the opportunity, I feel I was scared, yeah, and I am nervous, and because you have the responsibility for first time that you are alone, okay? So if you do something in wrong way, you can die, and for this reason, I think that the experience that your first flight or your first vuelo solo is the best. It's something that you can say only with words.
And talking about feelings, talking about what you feel, the scare, the happiness. We're talking. I want to ask you, what is the level of responsibility that you have in your hands when you're flying?
The responsibility that you have in your hands, it's very, very, very important, because when you are flying in airline like, I don't know, American Airlines, Flight Emirates, or more like this, it's a responsibility that you have not only with you in your life, it's the life of more people, a lot of people. In the case of Flight Emirates, they have the biggest planes, and it's like we are talking about maybe 100 or 200 people. So the most important responsibility of a pilot is the life of the other people that you are transporting.
So now I would like to ask you, since you are talking about the big planes and there are a lot of people traveling, etc., I would like to know to what was or where was your best trip and why? What was the experience of that trip?
Okay, my best experience was when I had the opportunity to fly from Quito to Miami. It was because my school where I do my course of pilot buy a new plane. So for this reason, we need to fly 4 pilots, because when we return to Ecuador, we have to fly 2 pilots in one plane and 2 pilots in the other plane. So it was a very big trip, because it's the first time that I am going to fly more than 2 or 3 hours. The flight was maybe 8 hours, but for the autonomy of the plane, we have to do a stop in the Lagarto Island, and we have to take more gas for the plane, and after continue to the trip. And it was a very good experience, because you feel more things that you can feel when you are flying only in one place. In this case, I was very scared, because we are flying between clouds, so you feel things like wind or turbulence and electrical storm. So you have to do a lot of things in the plane, and you develop more skills that you have. So for this reason, it was the best experience for me.
While you were in this trip, you never felt like getting boring or like, oh, I want to get out of this plane, I'm desperate. You never felt those negative feelings?
Really no, because we are flying with 3 people more. So we are talking about planes, about engines, and in aviation you always have a new thing to learn. So I was enjoying this flight. For this reason, I never feel bored or something like this.
So we know that you really enjoy to be a pilot, and I have one more question for you, and it's, if you really enjoy to be a pilot, why you are here studying agriculture with us?
Okay, it is very difficult for me because, and not for me, it's for a lot of pilots in Ecuador, because to have a job like a pilot in Ecuador is very difficult. You have to do a lot of hours, and for this you have to spend a lot of money, because 1 hour the price of 1 hour of the flight is maybe around $200. So you have to do to fly in Ireland, you have to do maybe 800 hours. So it's a lot of money, and I really enjoy flying, and I really enjoy this part of my life. But I think that I can do it more things, and Zamorano, I think that is a good experience, and I really enjoy stay here because I really like that. I want to study. It's industrial engineer. So I think that this opportunity is good for me because I can make one more thing in my life.
So, well, before we conclude with our discovery project, we only can say that based on the information that Eduardo has given us, that being a pilot is not that easy. You gotta spend a lot of time, you gotta have determination in your studies, and you actually have to want to be a pilot because you are putting the life of many people in your hands. So I would just like to say thank you to Eduardo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't know if he wants to add something.
I don't know if you want to add something, like for a message for the people who see this.
Just one thing, if you want to do something, just do it, because you have the time, you have the I don't know, the things to do. So just do it and don't waste your time in bad things.
Thank you.
So thank you, Eduardo, again. Thank you,
pleasure.
Sebastian, to do
So it
this
was a pleasure.
project, and this is all for us. Thank you, people, to watch. Ahora nos pasamos.
¿Cuánto?